Hello, children. Now let us do the second part of your social and political life, chapter number 3. Name of the topic: Why do we need a parliament? Boys, in our previous discussion, we have learned about why we need a parliament here, some part of this, and why should people decide. By the way, people and their representatives, and about that means choosing of our representatives of different levels of government we have discussed. Now let us continue the chapter from page number 34. Here, boys, you can see some pictures are given there. The first picture, it is the Parliament of India, which is known as Sansad, is the supreme law-making institution. This is a picture of our parliament. It is in New Delhi. And there in this, that means parliament, supreme law are making. It has two houses. Our parliament has two houses. They are the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. So these are the two houses. You must know it, boys. Second picture, you can see here Rajya Sabha or Council of States with a total strength of 245 members. You must know it. How many members are there in the Rajya Sabha? If it asks, you have to say 245 members. You just mark it and keep it in your mind. Rajya Sabha is chaired by the Vice President of India. So, it is chaired by the Vice President of India. Then third picture is a Lok Sabha, House of the People, where all MPs used to sit from our different constituencies, with a total membership of 545. You must know this one also. How many members are there in the Lok Sabha? You have to say 545. Out of this 545, boys, 2 members are from our Manipur. One is from inner constituency and another is from outer constituency. Here that means Lok Sabha is presided over by the speaker. Speaker used to preside over Lok Sabha. But Rajya Sabha is presided or chaired, it is chaired by Vice President of India. The role of the Parliament. What is the role of Parliament? What is the role of the supreme law-making institution of our country? Let us see. Created after 1947, the Indian Parliament is an expression of the faith that the people of India have in principles of democracy. So, created after 1947, the Indian Parliament is an expression of the faith. Faith means belief that the people of India have in principles of democracy. In principles means a fundamental truth of democracy, where people, they are meant to choose their representatives, and it is for the people. That government is called democracy, democratic government. These are participation by people in the decision making process and government by consent. These are participation by people. People used to participate in the decision making process, and that one is done government by consent. The parliament in our system has immense powers because it is the representative of the people. Parliament in our system, in our Indian system, boys, parliament has immense power. They have most important powers. It is because of it is the representative of the people. Parliament, it has representatives of people from different constituencies of different states. Elections to the parliament are held in a similar manner as they are for the state legislature. Elections for this parliament, these are also held in the same way as they are for the state legislature. That means there is no difference in the election of parliament election and state legislatures election. The Lok Sabha is usually elected once every 5 years. The Lok Sabha, MP member of parliament, is usually elected once every 5 years. So their terms is for 5 years. We used to elect our representatives for membership of parliament for 5 years. The country is divided into numerous constituencies as shown in the map on page number 41. You can see there in page number 41, boys. Our country is divided into several constituencies. Each of these constituencies elects one person to the parliament. So each of these constituencies is to elect one person to the parliament. That's what I already told you, boys. In our Manipur, we have for MPs, we have two MPs from our state. They are from, one is from inner constituency and another is from outer constituency. The candidates who contest elections usually belong to different political parties. Candidates who contest the elections, they are usually belong to different political parties. They are from different parties. With the help of the table below, let us understand there further. So here is under it is given a table. So with the help of this table, let us understand this further. It is given here result of the 16th Lok Sabha elections of May 2014 Okay, here results of the election. It is somewhat different with my book. So you can see, dear boys, different national parties. Okay, different parties here. You can see results of the 17th Lok Sabha elections, which was conducted in May 2019. And political parties, one side it has given a number of MPs, they came from different parties. You see here Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, and number of MPs from different states, they are elected. Its number is 303. India National Congress 52. Then Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam DMK, this is from South, boys, 24 MPs. Then likewise, that means you can see several parties are there, different parties, and then number of different MPs, okay, they have elected. You can see here. So grand total here, it comes 543. Have a look the next page. Result of the 15th Lok Sabha elections, May 2009. Here also you can see political party, number of MPs, national parties, okay, and then some state parties are there who are known as regional parties. So different number of MPs you can see here. The above table, have a look. The above table gives you the results of the 15th Lok Sabha elections held in 2009. In these elections, the INC got a large number of seats, but still not enough to emerge as the majority party in the Lok Sabha. Means more than 50% of seats should get by one party to form the government. So that's why what happened here, it does had to form a coalition. The United Progressive Alliance UPA with other political parties who were its allies. So to form the government, as at least more than that means at least one person more than 50% is required. That's why what happened, and none of the party got that majority. So with the combination of other parties, which is known as coalition government, the United Progressive Alliance UPA with other political parties who are its allies, they form the government. In this way, the government used to form. As example for our state also, boys. In our state assembly, we have 60 seats. So, to form the government, at least 31 MLAs should be there in order to form a government. Means to form a government, whether it is BJP or Congress or any other party, need 31 MLAs. Once elected, these candidates become members of parliament or MPs. If they are elected once, then these candidates become members of parliament or MPs. These MPs together make up the parliament. So all these MPs in a together way, they make up the parliament. Once elections to the parliament have taken place, the parliament needs to perform the following functions. So if once elections to the parliament have taken place, the parliament needs to perform the following functions. So these are the functions which need to perform by the parliament after elections. First one, to select the national government. To select the national government, Parliament of India consists of the President, the Rajya Sabha, and the Lok Sabha. You must remember this one also. Parliament of India, it consists of the President, the Rajya Sabha, and the Lok Sabha. After the Lok Sabha elections, a list is prepared showing how many MPs belong to each political party. So, as election over, boys, here a list is prepared in order to show how many MPs belong to each political party. That means how many MPs are there in BJP, from BJP, how many are there from Congress or different parties like that. For a political party to form the government, they must have a majority of elected MPs. So, to form the government, that political party need what? They must have a majority of elected MPs. What I have already told you earlier. Since there are 543 elected plus 2 Anglo-Indian nominated, boys. These 2 Anglo-Indian, they are nominated. They are not elected. So altogether you find 545 MPs in Lok Sabha. Since there are 543 elected plus 2 Anglo-Indian nominated members in Lok Sabha, to have a majority, a party should have at least half the numbers, that is 272. So 543 is the it's half. It means here, boys, it comes, you see, 200, that is 272. A party should have at least half the number, that is 272 members or more. Or more can be, but it should not less than 272 members to form the government in a parliament. The opposition in parliament is formed by all the political parties that oppose the majority party coalition government or coalition formed. The opposition in parliament is formed. Okay, after that means forming the government with proper number. Now the opposition party also formed. The opposition in parliament is formed by all the political parties, those who are not there in forming the government. So all the political parties that oppose the majority party. So in any motion of the house, they used to oppose the majority party or coalition formed. The largest amongst these parties is called the opposition party. So the largest among this party who is not forming the government, but the party which have a largest number of MLA here. Here they become opposition party. One of the most important functions of the Lok Sabha is to select the executive. Here, to select the executive, It is the most important function of the Lok Sabha. The executive, as you read in chapter 1, is a group of persons who work together to implement the laws made by the parliament. See, the executive, you have read in chapter 1, boys. It is a group of persons who work together in order to implement the laws which is made by the parliament. To implement the laws which is made by the parliament, this responsible, it is in the head of executive. The executive is often what we have in mind when we use the term government. The Prime Minister of India is the leader of the ruling party in the Lok Sabha. So, Prime Minister of India is the leader of the ruling party in the Lok Sabha. Like as that means at present days, Narendra Modi belongs to BJP. He is the leader of the ruling party in the Lok Sabha. From the MPs who belong to her party, the Prime Minister selects ministers to work with her to implement decisions. So here, boys, the Prime Minister used to select ministers from his party, or if ally is also there, if other party also join with him, he used to select ministers from them to work with her to implement decisions, in order to implement decisions. These ministers then take charge of different areas of government functioning like health, education, finance, defense, etc. etc. So these ministers then they used to take charge of different areas of government in order to functioning like health, education, finance, defense, agriculture, many other are there, boys. So they used to work in their own department. Oftentimes, in the recent past, it has been difficult for a single political party to get the majority that is required to form the government. Oftentimes, we find that in the recent past, it has been difficult for a single political party to get majority which is required in order to form the government. They then join together with different political parties who are interested in similar concerns to form what is known as a coalition government. In such case, when that means none of the party get here majority at the time in order to form the government, when there is no party can show the majority at the time, they join together with other political parties who are interested in similar relate to form what is known as a coalition government. That is called when other party also join with that party, then it is known as a coalition government. See here, page number 37. Again, two pictures are given there. These two buildings of the Central Secretariat, the South Block and the North Block, were built during the 1930s. The photo on the left is of the South Block, which houses the Prime Minister Office, Prime Minister's Office, PMO. PMO means Prime Minister's Office, the Ministry of Defense, and the Ministry of External Affairs. And on the other hand, see, the note block is the photo on the right, and this has the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Home Affairs. The other ministers of the Union government are located in various buildings in New Delhi. The Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha functions primarily as the representative of the state of India in the parliament. Rajya Sabha they functions mainly as the representative of the states of India in the parliament. The Rajya Sabha can also initiate legislation. Initiate legislation means introduce legislation, and a bill is required to pass through the Rajya Sabha in order to become a law. So, you see, we have a procedure about any budget. That means when it put up there in Lok Sabha after discussion, when they is to pass it, when maximum number more than half they agreed it is to pass, then the same bill it is put up, that means in Rajya Sabha. There in the Rajya Sabha, that bill is required to pass through the Rajya Sabha in order to become a law. So the same bill has to pass in the Rajya Sabha also. Then if that means that Rajya Sabha also passes the same bill, then it become a law. Just after that, that means it is passing by the Rajya Sabha, that thing can be utilized among the people or in the country. It therefore has an important role of reviewing and alerting if alterations are needed. The laws initiated by the Lok Sabha. So it therefore has an important role of reviewing means assess formally with intention of instituting change if necessary and altering if alteration are needed the laws initiated by the Lok Sabha. The members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by the elected members of the legislative assemblies of various states. See here, members of Rajya Sabha, they are elected by the elected members of the legislative assemblies of different states. There are 233 elected members plus 12 members nominated by the president. So there are 233 elected members from different legislative assemblies, and with that 12 members they are nominated by the president on different background. Okay, these 12 members they are nominated, they are not, that means elected, they are nominated by the president. So it is about your Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Now let us see to control, guide and inform the government. The parliament, while in session, begins with a question hour. At the starting point, you see the parliament, while a session is going on, it started with a question hour. The question hour is an important mechanism through which MPs can elicit information about the working of the government. Question hour, it is very important. It is an important mechanism. And through this question hour, MPs can draw out, elicit means draw out information about the working of the government, how the government, they are working, their procedure, where they utilize what. So this all information used to are clear there. This is a very important way through which the parliament controls the executive. So it is a very important way by which the parliament controls the executive. By asking questions, the government is altered to its shortcomings and also comes to know the opinion of the people through their representatives in the parliament, that is the MPs. So by asking questions, okay, here our opposition party, they used to ask questions. The government is altered to its shortcomings, means a fault or failure to meet a certain standard, and also comes to know the opinion of the people through their representatives in the parliament, that is the MPs. With the help of these MPs, they come to know the opinion of the people. Asking questions of the government is a crucial task for every MP. To ask questions is very crucial work for every MP. The opposition parties play a critical role in the healthy functioning of a democracy. Opposition parties play a critical role, important role here in the healthy functioning of a democracy. They highlight drawbacks in various policies and programs of the government and mobilize popular support for their own policies. Here they used to highlight drawbacks. What are the drawbacks of the government in various policies and programs of the government, and prepare and organize for active service, popular support for their own policies. Here in page number 38, let us see. The following is an example of question asked in parliament. See how that means question used to ask in the parliament. Okay, and then answer also. It has followed. You get through this voice. You will get here clear idea how question asked in the parliament and how different, that means MPs used to or minister used to answer it. It comes in this way. The government gets valuable feedback and is kept on its toes by the questions asked by the MPs. So government, they gets valuable feedback here and is kept on its, okay, to remain, that means alert. They remain alert here, alert or ready for anything that might happen, or that means what he need to do by the question asked by the MPs. In addition, in all matters dealing with finances, the parliament's approval is crucial. Crucial means critical for the government. So in addition, in all matters dealing with finances, the parliament's approval is critical for the government. This is one of the several ways in which the parliament controls, guides, and informs the government. So this is one of the several ways through which the parliament controls and guides and informs the government. The MPs, as representatives of the people, have a central role in controlling, guiding, and informing. So MPs, as representatives of the people, they have a central role in order to controlling, guiding, and informing parliament, and this is a key aspect of the functioning of Indian democracy. And this way, it is a key aspect, means a particular part or feature of something that is called key aspect of the functioning of Indian democracy. Now let us see lawmaking. Lawmaking is a significant function of parliament. So it have a particular meaning. Okay, this lawmaking. Lawmaking is a significant function of parliament. We shall read about this in the next chapter. In next chapter, that is chapter number 4. There we will learn about this lawmaking. Okay. Who are the people in parliament? Parliament now has more and more people from different backgrounds. For example, there are more rural members as also members from many regional parties. See here, Parliament now has more and more people from different backgrounds. As example, we can say there are more rural members. There are more, that means members who belongs from different, that means rural areas, village areas, as also members from many regional parties. Groups and peoples that were till now unrepresented are beginning to get elected to parliament. There has also been an increase in political participation from the Dalits and background classes. There has also, you see here, been an increase. It is increasing in political participation. Okay, many Dalits and background classes people, they are also, that means, participating in the decision making. Okay, way of politics. Let us look at the following table that shows the percentage of population who voted in Lok Sabha elections in different years. Let us see here. Here which is given under. Look at the following table in which it shows the percentage of the population who voted in Lok Sabha elections in different years. So you can see here Lok Sabha election years and voter turnout. How many voters they casted their vote in different years, you can see here. It has been observed that representative democracy cannot produce a perfect reflection of society. It has been observed, we observed here that representative democracy cannot produce a perfect reflection of society, a perfect light of society. There is a realization, an act of becoming fully aware of something is a fact. It is called realization. There is a realization that when interests and experiences separate us, it is important to ensure that communities that have been historically marginalized, marginalized means treated as insignificant or peripheral. So marginalized are given adequate representation. They are given, that means, sufficient representation. With this in mind, some seats are reserved in parliament for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. SC means scheduled caste and ST scheduled tribes. It is, that means, the group of people, children in our society, which were thinking as underprivileged group. This has been done so that the MPs elected from these constituencies will be familiar with and can represent Dalit and Adivasi interests in parliament. This has been done. It is because of, if this way has done, that means a reservation of seats is there, then the MPs elected from these constituencies will be familiar with and can represent Dalit and Adivasi interests in parliament. Similarly, it has more recently been suggested that there should be reservation of seats for women. So, likewise, it has more recently been suggested that there should be reservation of some seats for women especially. This issue is still being debated, yet it is that means not fully comes in utilization. Of course, that means some seats are reserved. So this debate, this issue is still being debated. 60 years ago, only 4% of MPs were women, and today it is just above 11%. So 60 years ago, so we find that only 4% of MPs they were from women, and today it is just above 11%. This is a small share when you consider the fact that half the population are women. So this is very small share, as that means only just above 11% MPs belongs to women group. This is a small share when you consider the fact that half the population are women. It is issues of this kind that force the country to ask certain difficult and often unresolved questions about whether our democratic system is representative enough. So it is issues here of this kind that force the country to ask certain difficult and often unresolved questions about whether our democratic system is representative enough in the condition where that means where we are allowing only above 11% to become MPs from women group. The fact that we can ask these questions and are working towards answers is a reflection of the strength and the faith that people in India have in a democratic form of government. So the fact that we can ask here these questions and are working towards the answers is a reflection of the strength and the faith that people in India have in a democratic form of government. Here, boys, glossary you see. This glossary, okay, approval, coalition, unresolved. You must get through this. This will be helpful for your different classes. So here is the end of the chapter. Thank you all.